guys? I am super stoked to be here today with Ken Newbill. Ken, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. What's up, Chad?
Appreciate you coming over here. We're over at the Anytime Fitness, and thanks for tuning in, whether you're Facebook Live or whether you're listening to this on the road, the Primetime Podcast. I'm really excited. We've got a health transformational specialist here. We definitely haven't had anyone like that on. In fact, I really don't know, we were just talking, of anyone quite like you. So I'm really excited for you to explain what you exactly offer to people out there too. So I appreciate you coming over and taking some time to talk to our guests and listeners out there. So maybe a good place to start is, what is a health transformational specialist? Let's just start there.
I think that's a great place to start. You know, a health transformation specialist is actually a term I coined for myself.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I didn't find what I really do out there in terms of title, if you will. And I also thought it was important to have some level of differentiation between my brand and what other people may consider in the field of holistic nutrition and health coaching and life coaching and things of that nature.
Right.
So what truly is health transformation a specialist? Well, it's about taking someone completely through a process of identifying where their values are lacking, whether it be nutritionally, whether it be through life, whether it be through behavior. And looking at all of those things in a truly holistic manner. And systematically moving through each one of them in a way that allows that client to understand, put in practice, fail, right? So there needs to be some failure along the way so we can actually have some life change. Because no one's getting through the transformation without going through the fire.
That's true.
You know, there's got to be some pain along the way, but then allowing them to rise up from those failures and to continuously rebuild themselves with the support of an actual coach. Right? Coach from the sense of, if you were in athletics, or if you were in a specialized part of the military and you had excellent leadership, someone who really valued you, who got inside of your mind, really understood your day, your past, and what you dreamed about becoming. Right? I take all of those things and I marry that into my practice for my clients so that they understand that they have a partner in health to get them where they really want to go.
Wow, it's amazing. And what has led you to become a health transformational coach? What's been that burning fire to get you to where you're at today?
Well, first, it is a fire. I love what I do, and the reason I love it so much is because I walk the walk myself. You know, I kind of give you a little, to really tell you how I got there is I have to go back a little bit. And so I'll just start.
Take us back, man.
I'm going to take you back.
Take us back.
I was a really chunky fat kid.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
And so I had a lot of issues growing up eating the foods that my other family members did. But it didn't affect them the way it affected me. Right? So I was always dealing with weight management problems, even as a young kid, as early as 10 years old.
Got it.
So when I'm looking at our society now, and 1 out of 5 kids are pre-diabetic or diabetic, I understand. But it's also very disheartening. But don't let me digress. So I went into the military at 19. All right? I couldn't even get out of basic. I had to stay extra. I had to do extra basic.
Is that right?
Just so I could be physically adapt to go into the military. So I wasn't physically ready. So I had to work on that. And once I did work on that, I learned a lot about myself and what I was capable of. Got into the military, had an awesome career, right? I did a lot of cool things. I ended up becoming a U.S. Army Ranger. Worked in special operations most of my career and served my country and loved it, but I knew there was something else for me. So I got out of the military after serving 12 years and started my own mortgage brokerage firm in the Washington, D.C. area and ran that business for about 10 years. During the course of that, I took the same level of dedication that I had in the military to do the type of missions that I did and to work with the type of people that I did. But I almost killed myself. Because I worked myself so hard into the ground. I was doing 24, 48, sometimes 72 hours, no rest. Just work. Because I was capable of it. I kind of felt like, this is kind of easy. I just got to work on this and get things going. But my health was diminishing hard. the only thing the military taught me was how to keep moving.
Right.
It never taught me how to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So just because I moved a lot and I was busy, I was able to kind of suppress that childhood fat guy, right?
Yep.
That I was. But once I got out, he was still there.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And so, long story short, I ended up becoming morbidly obese.
Okay.
I blew up to about 270 plus pounds. I stopped weighing myself after that. I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to buy any more clothes. I didn't want to take any more pictures.
Yep.
I became a little standoffish from a lot of my friends and family. So I went through that psychological breakdown that then starts breaking down everything else. Like your body breaks down, your business breaks down, your relationships break down.
Yeah.
And it took a lot for me. It took a wake-up call. And the wake-up call for me was the day that my wife and I found out we were pregnant with our first child.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
My son, Julian, is the reason I'm here, the reason I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that night that we found out we were pregnant, we were already into the second trimester.
Wow.
My wife is very slim and she just wasn't showing.
Yeah.
And that also taught me something about, this whole health thing and how people are treated, from being large or thin.
Yeah.
Listen, I was eating the same thing my wife was eating. Okay, we were in the business together as partners.
Wow.
Right? She was reacting completely differently. She did not blow up like a house. I blew up like a house, but she was rotting on the inside.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I always say some of the people I feel the most passion for are not obese people. It's thin people who are walking time bombs.
Nice.
And they don't have a way or anywhere to vent because no one wants to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because, what are you worried about? Because this society is so vain.
Yeah, they are.
Everyone's just looking at your appearance.
Right.
But there's people out here walking around not well, having a really hard time with life, and they're sick as all get out.
Yep.
Okay? So that night, I was up, when we found out about my son, I was up that night doing what I would normally do, stress eat. So I'm stress eating with a bag of Doritos, and I have a heart attack that night.
Wow.
Okay, age 38. Right.
Wow.
So this was I'm 47 now, so 9 years ago.
Almost a decade ago.
Is that math right? You guys will figure it out there. But it's about 9-10 years ago this happened. Well, Julian's 8 years old right now, so about 9 years, and that was my little wake up call. So the next day, talked to a good doctor of mine, and without borrowing my French here, he said, you got to get your shit together.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he said. He goes, I don't know how to tell you to do it because I don't know how, because he's never had any of these problems, right? But he's like, but you need to start seeking help and finding a way. And so I did, right? That year, after a lot of studying, a lot of failing, one of the biggest things I learned was your body's not always the same based on what you've broken.
Right.
Like we break things, and I try to educate my clients on the fact that when we start working together, stop expecting the quick fix. The quick fixes don't fix things.
It's a paradoxical statement.
They don't fix anything.
Right.
Okay? They probably will create more problems.
Yeah.
You don't want a quick fix.
Yeah, exactly.
You maybe want some relief.
Yeah,
and there's a way to give you some relief while you're still doing foundational health transforming that's going to support you for the rest of your life to keep you out of the fire and out of the problems that you've gotten yourself into.
That's worth like an amen, dude, because we kind of have the same thing here. People are in pain. They're literally in pain. Like can I take care of this tomorrow? And I'm usually the one to have to say, listen, I'm thinking at least 12 weeks.
Yes.
I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. If you don't like it, you can head out, but I'm not going to say and lie through my teeth that I can fix you tomorrow.
That's just being honest, man.
And they need to hear it.
Yeah, these bodies of ours, these are our little spaceships, man. And they need maintenance, they need love and care.
Yeah.
And when you honestly know you haven't been taking care of it, you haven't been doing right by yourself, stop expecting to fix yourself overnight. Let it go. You're just going to get yourself in more trouble. I mean, even when I first started trying to fix myself, I went old school. Man, I was doing old school military workouts.
Oh, really?
I was, huge dude, right? It was like, let me go run. Breaking myself even worse, causing more systemic inflammation problems. Still hadn't figured out diet at all. I didn't know how to eat, man. I was just
Intent was there.
Intent was there. I was doing this stuff that I did when I was young, but you know what? A lot of things you do when you're young are setups by marketing.
That's true.
Almost anything will work when you're young.
Right.
So you could drink this shake, you could take these supplements and do whatever, but your natural cellular performance is still kind of high.
Right.
So it's just going to be kind of okay.
Kind of get okay, yeah.
Right? But as you age and you start to, like I did, I went through a period of time where I just created all this metabolic dysfunction, MS issues, and I needed to work on that. I had to work on my drinking. I had to work on my food. I had to work on my organs internally to get them to fire right again. And a lot of Americans need that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And we don't realize that. So I'm out here doing these 2-a-day workouts, not getting much anywhere, man. I wasn't dropping hardly any weight.
So frustrating.
Dude, 90 days in, I'm like going to the gym, like soaking wet every time I walk out, embarrassed. Like the machinery and everything I'd be on. Yeah. And I had to wipe this stuff down. I'm like, man, this is a sad state of affairs. Yeah. Right? But I got through it and I got educated. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest part about health in general, and what I love about what you do is that you're constantly educating your clients. That's like a major step. Huge. Because without education, you don't get well. Right. Okay? Because you're going to fall back into your old habits unless you have that mental understanding about what's actually happening to you, being taught by a true professional, so that you can grasp onto that and hold on to that. So when you're out in society and the regular old system that we live in is talking to you, whether that be by another human who's judging you for making these changes, and so that they can feel better about themselves because you're transforming, they're going to try to pull you back in. Absolutely. All this stuff is set up for you. There's a bunch of traps out here. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. And I look at this world much like a battlefield. And until you get that disposition of understanding that there's a lot of people that want to harm you for their own gain, slowly but surely over time, you're going to be a sick, sad person for most of your life until you wake up to that reality. Right. I absolutely love it, man. And so tell us some of the problems that you solve on like a daily basis with some of your clients. Oh, well, everybody's talking about gut, right? Gut's the center of everything. So lots of gut issues, everything from IBS, diarrhea, people having things swing back and forth with poor microbiome balance. Anxiety and depression is something that I work on with people from a nutritional, foundational support standpoint, because it's often overlooked. And the medications that you even take on those are depriving you of so many vital things. And if you don't have a good nutritional supplementation plan to counterbalance that, you're going to go further down the rabbit hole. It's not going to get any better. And if you're taking anxiety and depression medication out there right now and it's awesome, just raise your hand, because I don't believe you. Because I'll show you what awesome is. If you can get off of that stuff and find a way to balance your body and your mind together as one, it's truly inspirational to see someone make that shift. I've had clients, I give an example of it. I won't mention his name, of course, but we started working together over a year and a half ago, and it was kind of early on as I got started. He didn't come to me for anxiety and depression. Oh, really? He came to me because he wanted to gain some muscle. He was like, he had some nutritional problems that weren't allowing him, and lifestyle factors that weren't allowing him to gain muscle. Gotcha. Right? So once we got into the program, muscle, that was not a problem. We started gaining weight, putting on good, healthy, lean muscle mass, getting energy up. But a couple things. Within the first week, he was like, oh my God, he called me, he was like, I've been asleep for almost 2 days. Holy I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, he didn't mean he slept for 2 days, he slept well for 2 days. Because I went, what? Yeah. And he was like, no. I was like, I must have really messed up. He was getting 10 hours of sleep. And he goes, I haven't slept like this in over 20 years. Holy He wasn't sleeping. He wasn't sleeping. So by putting balance back into his life and getting the things that he needed into his system at a cellular level, he was able to get his hormonal levels properly balanced so he could get some rest. Now, because I said without rest, you're not gaining muscle. No, exactly. So that's when you're building it. Yeah. You're going to sleep. Yeah. That's true, too. Absolutely. So, sleep, getting sleep right, getting energy. One of the biggest things that I work on with people is energy, because everybody's deprived of it. Oh, yeah. So many of us have no idea what it's like to wake up. I like to tout myself as as an example. I wake up at 4 a.m. I go. right? And I love that about myself.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I know that takes work and dedication to me and an integrity for myself to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And to perform not only for my business, but for my family. That I still have something in the tank for them.
Right.
You know, when I get back.
Sure.
And I got something on the weekends when we got the projects to do and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's so many people out there failing in their businesses, failing in their families, because they're failing in their health.
Yes.
And that's why my motto is really like it's better health, better business, better life.
Nice.
And those are the clients that I tend to work with, right? So I'm typically working with entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out time management, you know, how to get things done in a proper way, how to balance their stress loads. You know, so stress leads me back to my favorite thing to work on with business owners and entrepreneurs and business professionals, energy. Where is it? Right? We know it's about cellular mitochondrial function, but energy has a lot of different centers in the body. You know, one of them is adrenals, another one is thyroid, and these are fried by most of us, especially small business people.
Yes,
because we are putting it in.
Yeah.
Right? If you're really out here trying to make it happen, you're putting it in, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to make it the next day? Not necessarily by money, right?
Right.
Where am I going to find the energy to keep going? And a lot of times, all of that has to be rebalanced. You know, there's, you know, something about those particular centers that are drastically taxed from a nutritional standpoint. And until you get those values up, you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
Right? Most of us never realize that nutrition is not just about eating, right? It's about assimilation of the right things and the right balance.
Nice.
That's truly what it's about. And when your body is getting the right things and the right balance, you can be exponentially superhuman almost. Like you can live a life that none of your friends are living.
Right.
Okay? You'll sit there and watch them and get fat, lazier, and sick and go to the hospital and get their gallbladders taken out and all these other things that could be prevented if you're willing to do the work, and if you're partnered with someone who knows what they're talking about and can actually help you get through the fire of change. Because none of this stuff is easy.
No, change in particular.
None of it is easy.
Even I had people who have been in pain for a really long time, and they'll even acknowledge, like, it's hard for me to want to feel good.
Yes.
As hard as that is to sound, and they're like, and they usually pause and like, don't judge me right now, Chad, but I feel my body like fighting the urge to feel good. Like as soon as I feel good, my brain starts to wander. Like, why am I feeling good? There must be something wrong.
There must be something
and you can almost see it start to like search around. Like, where's the wrong in me?
Well, they're looking for that opportunity to fail.
They are. Yeah. They don't even know it.
It's partly mental too, because you're like, okay, I'm starting to feel good. I'm not used to this. This is uncomfortable. Remember, body likes homeostasis, man.
Exactly. So it doesn't like change.
They don't want to change.
Yeah.
You've got to force it to change.
Yeah.
You got to make requests for it to change. You've got to do the work for it to change. And then you've got to get past something I call the honeymoon period.
Nice.
When everything seems perfect.
Right?
Yeah. Everything's going good.
Yeah.
Your regimen's right on point. And then all of a sudden, you start getting a little overconfident.
Yeah.
And you start backsliding. You stop doing your rehab routine that you're supposed to be doing at home in between sessions when you see Chad.
Yeah.
Or you start getting lazy with your supplementation or your food choices or not moving your body as you should.
Yeah.
And we digress.
Absolutely.
And then you're all of a sudden back where you started. And so this is where the aspect of going deep.
Nice.
Right? Our world today does not go deep enough because no one seems to have enough time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you nailed it. So
no
true.
No one has enough time.
Right.
Well, that's our traditional allopathic design.
Yeah, it
right?
is. Yeah.
There's not enough time in that system, and that's why guys like me exist. Is because I'm going to make that time and create that relationship to go deeper.
Right.
Than just, oh, here's all your values.
Right.
And here's what you need to put into your body.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your sheet of paper. Go on and do your thing.
Yeah.
No. We need to connect on a continuous basis.
Nice.
To move through the real life shift.
Yeah.
That you actually have to make. That truly is the hardest part.
Yeah.
When you're wondering, okay, how am I going to look at this social setting that I used to go to every year if I'm changing the way I'm eating?
Yeah.
Or how I'm drinking.
Or
where I'm choosing to shop now.
Yeah.
And what type of things I choose to do in order to protect myself and not do.
Right.
In order to protect the integrity of what I'm trying to do to better myself.
Yeah. Socially too.
Absolutely.
In the psychology, it all shows up.
And I think societal norms play some of the largest impacts that you have to be willing to crush.
Couldn't agree more.
At some point in time, you have to be, I said, a lot of times my clients say, here's what we're going to do. Working with me, you're going to break some things.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to take out a big mallet,
yep,
and we're going to shatter myths. We're going to shatter habits.
Yeah.
We're going to shatter opinions, and we're going to take you to a whole new place where you're going to basically look back and go, who was that person?
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
When I look back on myself, when I was going through the changes that I made in my life, I had to dig back. Lucky for me, I was able to reach to a place, because I've been through some hard things in life, right? Going through Ranger selection courses and other highly specialized courses in the military allowed me to look back and grab a hold of that part of me.
Nice, absolutely.
But not everybody's got that experience.
No, exactly.
And so my job is to help bring that to the forefront, share some of that life experience with them, and help move them and motivate them in a way that truly creates a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah. I had a girl, it was like a week or two ago, and we were just talking. She was out and about and talking to her friends, and she said she told one of her friends that she's having shoulder pain, because they were asking. That's just the natural communication. It's like, hey, how's your shoulder doing, right? Yep. And she's like, I realized I told him it's hurting me, blah, 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 and I realized later on it's not. Like, the shoulder is fine. She's like, she was really perplexed. She was programmed, like almost broke out in tears. She was kind of like, God, I'm just programmed. Like, every time they ask me about my shoulder, their demeanors, their mannerisms, right? It's just like,
well, there's this attachment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm working with diabetics, I mean, one of the first diabetics I ever worked with, I love you and you know who you are. One of the first diabetics I worked with, when we first met, it was over business, right? And he was helping me set up something technical for my business. And he was like, I've never worked with a guy that does what you do. And so we got to talking, but right before we really kicked everything off, I heard something and I had to set him down. And he was like, yeah, because I'm diabetic. Because I'm diabetic. Now, he'd not told me his name yet.
Wow, he already identified himself.
He identified himself as a diabetic.
The diabetic. That was his identity, yeah.
And I said,
wait a minute.
Before we go any further, I said, because I'm just me 100% of the time. So one thing about me, you're going to get Ken whenever you sit down with Ken.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we sat down and said, hey, man, before we get into this, we gotta, I like you, but we need to come to a plane of understanding of just human to human.
Yeah.
How long have you been, quote unquote, a diabetic? And he was like, oh, I've been a diabetic for blah, 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 blah years. So I'm like, great. You're going to continue to stay a diabetic? Because what type are you? He goes, I'm type 2. And I'm like, oh, so you're going to just continue to stay that? Because that's how you introduce yourself to me.
Right. That's who you are.
You are the diabetic.
Right.
Right? And he was like, huh. Now, what was interesting was we didn't make much of that. I said, just be cognizant of that.
Planted that seed.
Your name, I want to hear your name. And so he told me his name and we talked through that. He called me 3 weeks later and he said, I want to work with you.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize that he was doing that. And the second
it's a big deal.
And the second thing he didn't realize until we had that conversation was he had been trying with all his might just not to go on insulin versus no longer being diabetic. So it was trying to change the course of his mission.
Yeah.
Well, at first he didn't really have one. He was just going on what his doctors were saying, and they were
being force-fed that and planted into his identity, and that's what it was.
Here came someone else and said, "Here's another option."
Yeah.
What do you think about just not being a diabetic anymore?
Right. You opened the door to that thought.
Yeah.
Which had been blocked off.
And
from
that's
traditional
more what
ways.
we all need. We need more people going.
Yeah.
I know you're that, and you want to hang on to that because we've got all kind of things for people with illnesses that allow you to keep that brand.
Right.
Right? Because that's what that is. That's a branding. I'm a diabetic, so you've been branded. So now you got all the pokers and all the regulators and all the gadgetry and all the stuff to take.
Yep.
Because you're a diabetic.
Exactly.
And most of this can all be corrected, man.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, with the right work and fixing oxidative stress and getting nutritionally foundationally sound, you can course correct this. You don't have to live that way forever.
It will take time.
It does take time.
Prioritization, which I like more than time, because we all have 24 hours of the day.
Yes, sir.
Depending on how we want to split it up. if you really prioritize it, if you believe in it, and if you know, like, and trust someone like yourself,
you gotta have belief, though.
Then you can work with it.
You gotta
believe
faith.
it.
Yeah, you gotta believe it can happen.
Yeah,
he believed it happened. I saw he probably convinced me to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I saw that man drop 50 pounds in 40 days.
Dang.
Like nobody's business. And I was just like, what? Like every day I'd wake up looking for his status on our app, and I'm like, he's fired up getting it done, man.
Hell yeah.
And so that's what it takes sometimes.
Perfect.
If you really want to go heal, you want to get right, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
And you got to have a level of confidence about what you're doing to go the distance.
Confidence, yes. Absolutely.
You got to go the distance, man.
Right. Believe in yourself that you can do it.
That's
as cliche as it sounds, but to an extent, we both really do that with our clients. A little bit of that hand-holding, that guidance, but also ultimately kind of that release of, you can do this on your own. You know, keep grinding. We're here for you, but we'll check in. But this is on you.
It's on you.
Right? If we talk to someone, an hour a week or 2 hours a week, however many hours there are left in that week, that's on you. We're just planting the seeds and kind of guiding you. We're in the passenger seat. You're doing the driving.
Absolutely. You know? And my weekly check-ins are just about that, man. They're check-ins.
They're check-ins.
Right? Like, okay, so I kind of vision it as you're on a navigational path.
Right.
Doing some type of land navigation course.
Yeah.
And you've got it, and I'm just at one of your points.
Right.
And
just a checkpoint.
It's like, hey, man.
You make it here?
Checkpoint B, you made it.
Right.
Let's talk about what happened on the way here and how you're going to navigate getting to the next point, you know?
Yeah. It's perfect.
And it's a great job. I love doing it.
Heck yeah. So I want to have you spill some of your secret sauce. I got a few questions for you. I checked out your website, and so wanted to help have you kind of spill some information to those listening out there.
Sure,
obviously a very smart guy in some of these ways. So right now, people love action. They love implementation. Something they could do right now from listening to this podcast. So, what's one thing someone could do right now if they want more restful and restorative sleep? What would you say?
Stop your stimulants first.
Nice, good one. Yeah.
You know, there's always some stopping.
Yeah.
Right. And that breaks people's hearts.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't mind breaking hearts. Right. I'm here to save people.
Nice.
And I think you're here to save people too.
Right.
And you got to hear the honest truth, man. You want to go to sleep, you got two things you got to do. You got to stop overstimulating yourself. So if you're a caffeine junkie and you're not sleeping, it's not working for you.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You've reached the peak of caffeine, and it's probably crashing you like crazy.
Yeah.
And your brain is probably not liking it, all right? Because a caffeine hit takes about 18 hours to wear off in your brain. Okay, the other hormonal systems might pass through within 3 to 6 hours.
Right.
But there's still a hit going on in your head because it's still a drug.
Right.
Right.
It is.
We do say doses of caffeine, right?
Something like that.
What else do we dose? We dose medication.
Yeah.
We dose, right? So you got to kind of get the context about the reality around what you're doing. So stop the stimulants. That can be T2, so it's not just a hit on coffee. It's all your stimulants.
Right.
Your Red Bull, your Red Bull fanatics out there, your Monster drink guys. You're crushing your adrenal glands. You're messing up your thyroid, and you're probably going to not perform well over time sexually.
Yeah.
So all of that comes to the same centers. Those are the two things I would say first.
That's awesome.
Without knowing much more about anyone else.
And again,
and the second one, go move your body.
Nice, yeah.
Okay, so if you're not moving your body, you haven't worked enough. We're all sitting around.
Yeah.
So we have a very sit-down society.
Yeah.
For the most part. So if you're parking your butt for about 8 to 10 hours a day, you got to move.
Right.
Okay, your body was built to work physically.
Right.
Right? It's a whole hormonal disposition type of thing that your body's seeking every day. And if you don't deliver it, right, you're eventually just going to get imbalanced. So get up and do some work. An hour a day, man. You get 168 hours in the week.
Come on.
Get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Exactly.
Let's get in there.
I was just going to say how socially it's so well accepted to drink coffee all day.
All day long.
Right? It's
Let's meet for
so
coffee.
well accepted, right?
See,
it's just built into it. So, again, that's just kind of where socially we've got to
And I'm
fight.
not drinking coffee. Okay? This is actually some moringa and hemp tea from my friend over at Sweet Union Hemp in Monroe.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's sweet. But it just goes to show you how it's built in. And you mentioned it earlier, it's a battlefield out there. You need to put on your war suit and kind of be ready to prep for your body.
You got to arm yourself.
Don't just fall into whatever the routine is that's working for, I guess, everyone else. But, it's probably not working for them. They're probably just sledging through it, too.
We're just getting through it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is what everybody's doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say are some of those common reasons people find themselves really tired and they're not getting that energy? And so what can they do right now to start changing that?
So, on top of those other two things, I would say one of the biggest things that everybody's depleted of is magnesium.
Okay.
Right? And we all know magnesium, well, maybe not all of us, but magnesium is a relaxer.
Nice.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it's also the regulator of 1,000 different enzymatic processes in your body. And ultimately, about 80% or more people in the world, not just the United States, are drastically depleted of magnesium. So this is one of the big deals about working with high performance people.
Nice.
Is they use more minerals than anybody else.
Cool.
And I often equate very busy moms, business professionals to professional athletes. Except professional athletes get more rest than you.
Way more rest.
Way more rest than you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now you see them and you're like, man, that must be hard, everything that they're doing. But you got to remember, they're doing short sessions, bursts of energy. Even someone that does ultra marathons, their training is so balanced. They're so systematic and scientific about maintaining the integrity of their being that you may never understand. You, on the other hand, you're just clawing at the day,
all day,
every day. You're stressed out about the bills. You're stressed out about work. You're stressed out about the kids. You're stressed out about your social awareness and maybe other things going on in your life. This all comes at a nutritional value.
Nice.
It all costs.
Yeah.
Okay? Just because you're sitting in your chair, and that's the worst thing about drinking caffeine, for example, is we're all sitting down drinking caffeine.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So where does that adrenaline get to go?
Yeah. Where's all the energy going?
It just taxes you.
Yeah.
Because when you kick off that adrenal cocktail firing out of your adrenal glands, it needs to go somewhere. So caffeine is meant, because you're going to put yourself in that state of fight or flight.
Yep.
And you're just sitting around talking business.
Yeah.
Or watching TV or whatever it is. You're not actually moving. Like for people that you might know, some people go, well, Ken, well, I know so-and-so, he drinks coffee all the time. Yeah, he probably drinks coffee right before he works out, right? He's probably moving like you don't know.
Should be.
Or you got some guys that work in the outdoors all the time and they're constantly physically moving, so that level of kick in the body has somewhere to dissipate to.
Right, exactly. Right? Good, perfect.
It's not just turning into cortisol that's going to then stimulate fat, holding on to fat and things like that in the body and inflammation in the body.
So we're watching our stimulants, we're increasing our magnesium, so already someone's having a better life.
Better life. You're going to sleep.
And now, talk to us about how we can help them furthermore improve their mental clarity and focus. What needs to happen? I've heard it a lot in my room too. It's like, I'm just having a hard time focusing.
Mental focus, it gets a little tricky, right? So I don't like to do broad strokes out there.
Okay.
But mental clarity kind of comes back to gut, right? Okay. First get to gut and tie in what we just said.
Yeah.
Because they're all connected. So one thing about understanding holistic approaches, we see the symbiotic relationship between the various systems in the body.
Nice.
Right? So there's not this one touch type of thing. You need to stroke all of it.
Nice.
Okay?
Yep.
So mental clarity, breathing. We don't get enough oxygen to the brain.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Sunlight. Are you getting any sun? Right? Are you getting outside? Even in the wintertime, get the sun. I don't care if it's cloudy.
Right.
You need it.
Right.
You need the real hormone D coming into your body so that you can help to balance the serotonin and melatonin in your body so that you can get clarity and get rest.
Nice.
If you're not getting sleep, you're not going to have any mental capacity. It's not happening. I don't know anybody who's not sleeping well that's sharp. They could be much sharper.
Right.
Okay?
Right, yeah.
So you got to take some time to do that. The exercise is going to play a difference. Like that's increasing your endorphins. That's releasing things. That's getting your blood pumping as well. Yeah. But there's also some other things that are definitely going to be nutritionally debunked in someone dealing with that, because this same mental clarity and fog is also sometimes correlated to anxiety and depression. So these are the same centers in the brain, the same type of nutrient factors many of the times that are lacking. Things like, your B vitamins are kind of really big.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people think about B12, but really there's a lot of different B vitamins that are very essential for brain. So when I think of B, I think of brain. And so I seek to understand that with my clients and to be able to help them balance that if necessary. And that's still just a topical solution.
Nice.
You still got to do this other grunt work.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to get that mental clarity. And there's some things that can help with that. Reducing oxidative stress in the body and inflammation is also very critical to that mental clarity. It's all blockage.
Yeah.
You know? So when I look at the body, I look at it as being a former network engineer, I look at the body as a network. And so I'm looking at the systems and where they bridge and where you probably have a blockage, and how do we open up that potential factor, or how do we put in the right things that are going to allow things to flow.
Nice.
Good. In nutritional balancing, a lot of approaches are fill the hole, okay? But it's not really always that. And most of the times it's not.
Right.
It's really about the symbiotic relationship between multiple nutrients in the body that allows things to work better. It's not just fill this bucket, fill that bucket, or like many allopathic doctors, I think, overprescribe calcium. Well, that's dangerous, because calcium run amok in the body causes a lot of issues when other nutrients that need to regulate calcium are not present in the right amounts. There's ratios that we have to find in order to get that to fire appropriately in the body to not put anyone in danger.
There's a lot of really good information on this, man. We might have to go back and listen to this a couple times to make sure you got all of it. I'm going to go back and just listen to it all the time. Like, wow, we said a lot in here. So tell us about how someone can get started to work with you.
Working with me is, I try to make this as easy as possible. I work in two capacities, right? I work as a consultant. That means we're going to talk about what's going on with you. And to get that started is very easy. Simply book go on my website, go on Facebook, email me, call me. We make an appointment.
Okay.
In that discovery session, we're going to really understand where you're coming from and where you're trying to go. Try to understand some of your goals, some of the things that you've done in the past. Understand why you are where you are right now, and what's the true capability of you transforming.
Nice.
Right? Where are you at in your mind?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we got to make sure that I'm the right guy for you in the first place. Okay, so that's just consulting, and I would work with you, put a plan together, help you find tools, resources, and we'll do messaging over my application where you have all the biometric readings that you need for yourself.
Sweet.
I get to see them, and depending on our relationship, may go for a matter of weeks to months. Okay. That's the first way to work with me. The second way to work with me is truly as a help. And this means we're going to go deep. We're going to do everything that I would do from a consulting standpoint, but we're going to be meeting on a weekly basis for the most part. With most of my customers, this is what happens. I would say for everyone. Because this is completely customized. Because we're going to truly work together to understand your dreams, about how this is affecting the other things in your life.
Nice.
Why haven't you been able to achieve the things that you've been looking to achieve with your health, and how that is rotting things in your garden. And so we're going to write a custom kind of deal together, make some very strong agreements, and I'm going to challenge you as a coach, and I'm going to make some very large requests from you as well that are going to enable you to move in a different way than you ever have before, so that we can truly deliver what you're looking to seek. And that doesn't take a week or a month. That takes time, and that takes commitment, and that takes a strong relationship.
Absolutely.
And I love it. I love doing this for my clients. I love seeing them go through that transformation where we truly shift the mind along with the body for long-term systemic value for the rest of their life, to where, I worked with Ken for 6 months, I worked with Ken for a year. I got it, right? I locked it in. I dialed it in, and I know if I ever get in trouble, I got the tools and resources to reach back to kind of help me get out of that little pitfall. And if I get in an emergency crisis, I can pick up the phone and call Newbill Health one more time. Okay? And maybe just work together for a week to just get you back into rhythm. People's lives change. One of the biggest things about what we do in this field, and one of the things that I learned the most is going through things. If you would ever look at my chart of health, right, from when I started, it's not a straight line down to success. It looks like a
all up and down
stock chart. Yeah. Right? It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Because my life kept changing every year. I was not the same person. You fix things. This is why, there's so many different diets and strategies out there, and I don't poo-poo any of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a time and a place. The right tool at the right time.
Right.
Is right.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
But there's going to come a time when that tool may no longer be needed, and you need to let it go.
Yeah.
Because you may be doing one thing for a period of time, it gets you off over a certain hump, and you're like, oh man, I'm not getting the same results as I used to get. And I'm not doing this, and I'm not getting that. Well, because you don't need it anymore.
You need
something else.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to be able to identify that, and also have someone help you identify those things, and also take that rucksack of guilt off.
Yeah.
When I've been doing it, I've been nailing it, but it's not the right thing for you any longer. Okay. Maybe you've gone too far down that modality because no one really tells you all the science around every particular type of diet or modality out there.
Right.
That diet may be a healing modality.
Yeah.
It might not be a lifestyle modality for you to maintain for the rest of your life.
Right.
For you in particular. Not for your friend, your mom, your buddy who's been keto for 4 months or whatever. And I don't put these down. I use all of these techniques in my practice. But it's about understanding that correlation of timing.
Meet them where they're at.
Practicality. Dependability. Can you depend on that? Right? Because when we start doubting what we're doing, that's when you really need to start looking at change. Right?
Yeah.
When you're not seeing the results and you know you've nailed it, but are you really? Have you dialed in the numbers? Did you get lax? Is it time to kind of track things again for a little while? Because what you don't track and measure, you don't always succeed at.
We have so many synergies in our paradigm of treatment.
Well, that's why I'm
here, crazy, man.
Come on now.
To get to really know someone, we're both looking for transformations, quite honestly, in terms of helping them get, I'm not looking to just help people get out of pain. I want them to feel better forever.
That's it.
And I think that's just a really big, tough concept for people to grab, almost overwhelming.
Well, I saw a meme on the way here, before I left the house. And it's the meme as to why you and I exist, right? It's the guy said, doctors exist because they need sick people. All this negative connotation.
Yeah.
And I think we feel that.
Yeah.
I think we feel that there's someone out here trying to prey on us because we don't know the answers. We've been befuddled with too much information.
Oh yeah.
We've tried this, we've tried that. And whenever I hear a client say that, I go, well, how long did you try it?
Right.
Did you really give it value?
Yeah.
Okay, now what else was going on in your life at that particular time that may have blocked that from happening?
Perfect.
There's that deeper context, right? Don't go do anything without context.
Yeah, right.
It's not good.
Right.
So when you see the next quote unquote fad diet, I don't call them fad diets. I think a lot of the science that people put into these things are valuable.
Yeah.
Because whatever in my world, when I look at someone and I know where I was at,
right.
I needed something, right, to push me over the edge and get me where I needed to go.
Yeah.
And whatever that thing is that gets you moving in that direction to better yourself,
you
grab a hold on it, but just realize this may not be the only piece to the puzzle.
Right.
That I may be adding some pieces and I may be letting this go at a certain time. And I think as long as you have that style of mentality to realize, again, it's not a destination, it's truly a journey.
Yep.
Right? Transformation is a journey. I'm still on mine. I'm going to be on mine until I die. I'm trying to be here until I'm about 150. Okay? I'm 47 years old now. I'm trying to roll like I'm trying to roll like I'm 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 25, 30 years old.
I love it.
And, it depends on whatever your goals and objectives are. That's what needs to be aligned with whatever you're doing and how in a way that you actually truly look at life and what you want life to deliver. Right. What do you want life to deliver to you?
Yeah. Are you only working with entrepreneurs, or can it be just anyone that listens to this and goes, God, I feel like I fit the mold for what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Is anyone able to apply to work with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Those just tend to be the people I track.
Really, the high performance entrepreneurs.
The circles I roll in.
Okay.
But absolutely, you need help. I want to help you.
Awesome. Because honestly, man, it feels like the way the future should run medicine. It's not just to come in, fill the hole, here's your medicine. I love that you're saying go deeper, and everyone's got a story, everyone's got problems, everyone's got skeletons in the closet, everyone's got something going on that needs to be conversed, to have someone to communicate with.
Absolutely.
Not just once, but on a weekly basis. We're doing it without, like, I guess you want to call it the stigma of psychiatry, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we all need to have someone almost unbiased that you can go and just talk to, get it out, dig deeper, because health is so much more than just doing exercises, trying to get even the nutrition. It's got to be even in between the ears that we feel good about all that.
And one of the other things is that you'll get with me is I like to win.
Love that competitive edge.
I like to win.
Right?
Everything that I do in my practice is goal based. So when we get down to brass tacks, when we start working through things, it's about putting things on paper. It's about developing a smart approach to it, and it's about execution, accountability,
perfect,
and truly walking the walk. Right? Because that's where the magic happens.
Absolutely.
It's when you're walking the walk and you're like, I am doing this.
Yeah.
I'm extremely capable. Yeah. I'm going to put you back in your power.
Right.
And I'm also on your team.
Right.
So I'm your partner in health. I'm not a dictator. I'm not telling you what to do.
Yeah.
In fact, that's not how I work at all.
Yeah.
How I work with anyone, even in a consultative way, is what can you do? What are you willing to do right now?
Yeah, what are you willing to do?
What will work for you right now?
Yeah.
Let's test and evaluate that. Let's see what you're going to pull off. And if that does work, what's next? What's possible, right? Because one of the biggest things I like to see people do is shift their horizon of health.
Nice.
Right? So you may start off going, man, I just want to be able to get out of bed in the morning. I feel like garbage.
Right.
Okay, great. Now we got that done. What's next?
Perfect.
Right?
Hell
What's
yeah.
next?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to run a 10K. Awesome. We did the 10K. What's next?
Sweet.
Yeah. And ultimately, to make an agreement with me, for me to be your health transformation specialist, you have to be willing. Like, yeah, I work with entrepreneurs and all that. I'll work with anyone, but you got to have a few characteristics within you. One of the main ones is you have to serve a higher purpose than yourself while you're here.
Perfect.
You got to serve a higher purpose. What are you going to do with the help that you get? What kind of value others around you? What kind of beacon of hope are you going to be for others now that you've made it through the fire? Are you going to extend your hand?
Love it, man.
If we can make that agreement, I'm your guy.
Absolutely amazing. Leave any other questions or comments below. We're going to make sure to get all your links so that people can reach out to you. So we'll connect and drop that underneath, guys. So,
and if you're not talking to Chad, you're wrong, man. This guy is the man. He's one of the smartest guys I know in the field. I'm blessed to know you, man, and I love what you do. I know that it comes from here. It comes from the heart, and that's what matters.
I think we're going to do is we're going to talk to the next president, whoever that, we don't want to get political, but we're going to basically have one of you for every person on America. And then let's just take the data and take a look at the health and the happiness and productivity. How about that? That's a cool theory right there. One of you for every person.
Let's get it. Let's match up, man.
I love it.
I'm game for it.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, man.
Until next time.